Yeah, that's real talk. But I gotta ask you about Kanye West, right? How you feel about him coming out, revealing that he gave his cousin fellatio until the age of 14?
Kanye West situation might be the only situation that gets more attention in the black community right now than Shannon Sharp. I did not see the tweet, but I heard about the tweet. Allegedly, Kanye West released a song about his cousin, which alleges to include lyrics that speaks to the fact that Kanye engaged in prepubescent same-sex incest, that he used to do things to his male cousin when they were children, and that the male cousin used to do things to him when they were children. And I think Kanye alleged something like he felt guilty because after he stopped with the same-sex incestuous behavior with the cousin, that the cousin made a bad decision or something happened to him in life, and Kanye kind of blamed himself. Don't quote me on the particulars there, but I want to say this. First of all, I can respect Kanye for being innocent and coming out. That's number one. I can respect him for admitting that this happened. The truth is, Art, speaking from a psychological standpoint, as someone who works with children, same sex incestuous behavior is very common in young children. It is very common, black or white. And the reason same sex incestuous behavior and non incestuous, both in the family and with peers in the neighborhood, very prevalent in America. Why? We live in a sexually uncontrolled world. We live in a country that allows children to be indoctrinated with sex, sexual ideologies. Barack Obama has a lot to do with this because he pushed this thing into the public school and into the mainstream, especially when it comes to same sex propaganda. We live in a society where children no longer receive a filter. And what do we know about the child, Art? A child is, by nature, a child is curious. So if you let me hear sex, if you let me watch sex, if you let me sit in on adult conversations about sex, I am going to want to experience sex to see if it is what all the adults proclaim it to be. In other words, Art, if we are going to let our children be exposed to sexual content by sight, by sound, or by any other engagement, most of those children are going to experiment with it. And they are going to experiment on other children their age or younger. So adults are responsible for the child molestation taking place in our families and outside of our families, because we are exposing our children to sexual intimacy before they are old enough and responsible enough to guard themselves against the advances of other people. I conducted my pre-doctoral internship, Art, in New Jersey under the State Department of Youth and Family Services. And the center, the residential boys center that I was assigned to, it specialized in teenage boys who were guilty of molesting incestuously cousins, younger sisters, and also children in the community who they were not related to. Nearly every boy who was there engaged in some sort of molestation in the family and outside of the family. And do you know what almost every child had in common, Art? What nearly every child had in common was they had all been exposed to sex early in life. Many were molested themselves, and most of them wanted to experiment with what it was they had been allowed to hear and see. We have to make sure we do not turn our children's eyes and ears into tools of the devil. And when you allow your child to see or hear sexual content early in life, as curious as they are, most of them will go on, unintentionally even, to become molesters of children. So I appreciate Kanye bringing it up because it is a big problem in our community that needs to be discussed. I'm not going to slander him. I'm not going to cancel him. He was a child who made mistakes as a child. And had he been properly supervised by the adults, this could have never happened.
How you feel about the comments he made about Jay-Z kids?
What exactly did he say?
He called his kids retarded.
He said it just like that.
Yeah, he wrote it on X.
That was wrong. Children are off limits. Kanye West owes Jay-Z and Beyonce, and of course, I'm a big Beyonce fan. Um, he owes the Carters an apology. Children are off limits. I'm sure he doesn't want anybody talking about his children. He shouldn't be talking about anyone else's children. That was absolutely wrong. And if he hasn't, he needs to apologize. Whether they accept it or not, that's something else. I know him and Jay-Z had some business deals that didn't go the way Kanye wanted them to go, understandably. But those beautiful children should be off limits. Leave kids alone. I know he's going through a lot of stress because he's not allowed to see his children. He's paying the highest child support payment in American history, $200,000 a year, and he's not even being able to see his children. So I understand that pain because I've been there. But don't talk about nobody kids, man. Kanye owes them an apology for that.
Yeah, hopefully he apologized. You seen that black KKK outfit he had on? That was crazy looking, man.
It is. But if we're going to be historically correct, Art, that outfit that the KKK wears, J.A. Rogers in 100 Amazing Facts About the Nigga, I think he deals with it. That outfit, if I'm not mistaken, was originally designed by black people and it was worn by a black religious order. They had it first well before the Klan, and that black religious order may have been in another country. I'm not sure if it was in America. So that idea was actually borrowed from the Klan. It wasn't theirs, and those robes were not used, from what I understand, for demonic or evil or racist purposes. It was a religious order that covered themselves up in white and black, and it was a black religious order that did that. So that was not the KKK's outfit. They appropriated it. But to your point, I don't think Kanye knows that history. I think Kanye is trying to appropriate the Ku Klux Klan's dress. And I don't know why a black man would want to do that unless he's trying to take the power from it. I believe I'm a big believer in context. I'm a very big believer in context. So I need Kanye to give me a little bit more context about why he's wearing that KKK outfit.